Okay, so we're continuing on with this theme of learning new ways of like how our hips and shoulders should be moving. What does the central gait pattern look like when it's in its most efficient form? And so we've talked before about how your pelvis should be rotating in this contralateral way, and how like this is the central pattern that you just want to be normal and default in showing up for you. And I'm going to show you here another pretty simple little exercise that you can bring into your routine that you can do pretty much anytime, anywhere. Just practice this, or at least learn and understand these concepts. You might have to watch this a couple times to remember like which pattern, which way is it supposed to go. The way that your hips want to work is when your leg is in front of you, it's slightly externally rotated. And when your leg is behind you, it's slightly internally rotated. And that is talking about like the femur in the hip socket, right? So I want to be external rotate, internal rotate, leg behind. And so keeping with that theme in mind, and the reason that I'm standing here like next to this wall is so I can just hold on for balance, I'm going to show you a really easy thing that you can just drill into your patterning, because what we're looking to do is like change these neural patterns of the connections, so your brain knows what are the patterns and positions that you want to be in. And so as I'm drilling this external internal rotation, it looks like, so there's times where I'm even walking and I'm doing like this, right, which is my leg is behind me and it's internally rotated. When it's in front of me, it's externally rotated. And so you can kind of walk and even just be doing this thing with your hands and shoulders, getting the pattern into your whole body. Or you can stand, hold on to something just for balance, and then just practice. I'm going to face a little bit this way so I have space for my leg behind me. But I'm going to keep, as I'm doing this, I'm going to keep my good posture. My chest is up, my head is stacked on top of my shoulders. So be careful about doing this from a position where your hips, your head is forward and your chest is collapsed. We want to be always reinforcing our good posture. So my chest is up, head is stacked. I'm going to externally rotate my leg a little bit when it's in front of me. And then as I put it behind me, I'm going to go a little pigeon-toed, right? So from the front, it looks a little bit like this, a little bit like this. And notice what my upper body is doing too. So I'm really focused on what my lower body is doing, and I'm letting my upper body go along for the ride. And if we extend this out and think like, oh, this is a run stride, you can see how, even if I did it from this side, as I'm internally rotated when my leg is behind me, here's my nice extension, and my torso is shifted some toward the front leg. So again, we're just reinforcing this same position in lots of different ways for you. So you can practice it again with the left side. So if you're standing on your right leg, I'm going to go externally rotate, internally rotate, external, internal. Let your torso go along for the ride. So if this is my external rotation as I'm stepping forward, notice my torso then would be rotated some and pointed toward this lead leg. As it's internally rotating behind me, that's the extension part of the stride where my torso is going to be this way. And in practicing that and just drilling it until it's just this normal thing for your brain, if you can do it like without holding on to anything, that's when you know you've got it mastered. It also matters a lot that your posture and like when you can get your head stacked properly and you can just stand really easily on one leg here, like you can practice it easily that way. That's a really good running drill. So if you're doing any kind of like hip swings before your run, doing them in that pattern that you want to see showing up with your run makes a lot of sense.